Yes, November is right around the corner, but it's also approaching my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. I don't know about you. You probably had similar parties growing up, going to school, cupcakes, being able to make crafts out of leaves and things like that. Our school always had a food drive. There would be a competition for each of the classes, and it was my favorite thing to do, to go into our kitchen cabinets and find the stuff that I hated, like canned spinach. As I was thinking about this, it was actually my brother's favorite, and I probably owe him an apology, but I would take that as the donation for the school drive, for the food drive. Something happened when I was in the 3rd grade that would sort of shape who I am today, that Thanksgiving holiday. Class party happened, and we were getting ready for the Thanksgiving weekend for the big turkey dinner at my aunt's house, packing up some things to take for us for the weekend. Great time of celebration with our family. And out on the front porch was a rather large box. And on the box was a Happy Thanksgiving note taped to the top. Called my mother out to come and have a look at this box that was on the front porch, and she did. She came and had a look. She opened the lid. Inside that box were very similar non-perishable items that we had just taken to donate to the school the day before for the class party. As a kid, I was a bit confused by that, but got in the car and got ready to go anyway. My mother, she was not confused. She knew that some well-meaning, well-intentioned family or individual in our town probably thought they saw a single mom with 3 small kids in a small mobile home and thought, it's the holidays. They could probably use a little extra help. My mother's response did not indicate that. My mother was not interested in charity, and if they'd had a conversation with her, if they had known her, they would have known that. So I would argue that we have a lot of churches and a lot of nonprofit organizations right around the country that probably do this more often than we would like to admit. We come up with solutions to problems that don't actually exist. Without talking to our neighbors, without knowing our community, we come up with ways to do charity to people. And I would argue that that's not always what's wanted or needed in a lot of cases. My mother was very creative to make life work for us growing up. She was nimble. She taught me to be nimble, and now I lead a nonprofit agency that's very nimble. I lead an organization called the Wesley Mission Center, and we serve our community in a variety of ways. We offer services for seniors, those living with disabilities, those that are overcoming a number of barriers in our community. One of the primary ways that we serve folks is through financial aid, financial assistance. And over the course of the years, we started to notice a trend in types of ways that people were coming to us for financial help. In 2015, we assessed that between 30% and 40% of the families that were coming to us for help had done a lot of things to try to take care of their financial situation themselves, but were getting into a situation where they were accessing things like payday loan. Unfortunately, for a lot of these individuals, they didn't realize that what they were signing was almost a death sentence financially for their families. Because of the fees, because of the interest rates that they were being charged, they were getting into a cycle of debt that they were not able to get out of. So by the time we were seeing these families, what was kind of a small financial crisis was nearly catastrophic for their financial futures. So we started doing some investigative work. We had one client, Sharon, who came to us. She works at a medical clinic. Ironically, if she's sick, and she's sick a lot because she works with sick people, she doesn't get paid time off. And so when she came to us, she had missed a number of days of work, and that month was unable to pay her rent. So she did what a lot of people do. She went and she took out a payday loan. She borrowed $500 as kind of a stopgap measure to be able to pay that rent that month. Only a short period of time later, about 6 weeks later, by the time we saw her, she had paid nearly $800 back in fees and interest and was nowhere near having paid off that loan. So our organization started to recognize with this that was happening in our community, we needed to do something outside of the lines. We needed to create an alternative, and so we did. After talking to a number of our community members, we came up with a solution called Unity Lending. And what Unity Lending does is it helps families in these types of financial situations if they don't have access to credit from other sources. Perhaps they've got bad debt and some other things that are creating barriers in their family situation. They can come to the Mission Center for an interest-free loan with no fees attached to it. The individual gets to set that repayment structure in a way that makes sense for them. They pay about $25 to $30 a month, kind of whatever works for their family's needs. And while they're repaying that loan, they're getting financial coaching. They're able to work with the financial coach to help them overcome that bad debt, improve their credit score, and to think about how they might be able to save for a financial need in the future. Over 12 million Americans access payday loans every year. So we know that this is a growing problem. But it's easy, I think, for some of us to sit back and go, you know, evil predatory lending practices and get angry. I would say that they have caught on to the fact that most families do want to support themselves. They want to take care of themselves, and they're doing it the best way that they know how. So great idea, but it's really bad execution. I think in our communities we can create better solutions. So we did. We've helped more than 300 families in just the last 8 months. This is a relatively new program, and we're going to continue to talk to our community members because we feel that's important. We need to be nimble. We need to be responsive. My challenge to you as you approach this holiday season and you see families in need, you see organizations that are serving others, my challenge to you is to not make sweeping assumptions that the best way to help one family is the best way to help all families. This holiday season, I challenge you to give outside of the box. Thank you.